Hello everyone and welcome back to the 3T Path channel. My name is Giridhari Das. And today I want to bring you a special video where we're going to be comparing these lost texts from very early Christianity that were not included in the Bible, that were left out of the Bible. And we'll see an amazing parallel between these texts and the Bhagavad Gita and the philosophy of yoga. So I'm going to be reading some of these texts for you and comparing them with texts from lines from the Bhagavad Gita and concepts from yoga. Now, these texts that I'm reading for you are from the Nag Hammadi find. So the Nag Hammadi was one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the century, and it's certainly one of the greatest of all time for Christianity. What happened is in 1945, these Egyptians were digging in a place, trying to get some minerals for to use as fertilizer, and they were just digging away in 1945, and they hit a giant clay pot. And so they uncover this pot, and at first they're like, no, let's not open it because it could be like an evil genie inside. But then somebody said, hey, it could be gold inside. And they're like, okay, let's break the pot. So they broke the pot, and inside there were actually leather-bound books, properly leather-bound, not just scrolls, but leather-bound books. And then it's a great story. Then they're like, okay, let's share the booty here. So they start like ripping the books apart. Anyway, so they finally, this guy took some of his books home, and even his mother like ripped out a page to like light the fire that night. It's like, but somehow those books finally made it. They finally managed to get them in the hands of the academics, and it was just like an amazing find, because here were lost books from Christianity, lost gospels and books from Christianity that didn't make it to the Bible, and these books were bound, and to reinforce the books, they used receipts, and these receipts were dated from 350, 340. So these books were from around the year 350. They were 1,700 years old. So here was like a discovery of all these books, 1,700-year-old Christian books that had never been seen before, some of them. So it was an amazing discovery. And what they think happened is that around this time, the Bible was finally being decided upon, like the Bible we have today, the New Testament you have today, the canon was finally being like set. And there was a Christian monastery nearby this Nag Hammadi place. And they must have gotten the news, look, these are the books, they're going to be official. Everything else, just forget about it, not official. So the idea is that maybe some monks are like, well, I'm not going to throw it, not going to burn these books. Let's just hide these and bury them. If they change their mind, we can go and get them, because they didn't want to be caught with the books there, but they didn't want to get rid of them either. So they hid them, but they never came back for them. So these books are from like these ancient Christian ideas, because there was like a huge variety of different versions of Christianity, different ideas and philosophies. We kind of like receive the orthodox version, like this is the Bible, this is the idea. But of course, there were many competing ideas for centuries and centuries. And finally, they picked like one path and one set of books. But these are from a different set that didn't make it. They were banned. And they have an amazing similarity. They're much more close and parallel with the Bhagavad Gita and the yoga philosophy in general. So let's read a couple of these. I'm going to be going over 4 topics here. Just illusion of the world as illusion, body versus soul, the 3 bodies of the self, and knowledge as the path to liberation. So I'm going to be covering these 3. So let's start with illusion of the world. So this is a line from the Gospel of Truth found in this Nag Hammadi discovery. The world became forgetfulness, and those who are forgotten became intoxicated. They became drunk and staggered, not knowing where they were, because they were generated in forgetfulness. So this concept that the world is an illusion, people are born into illusion, is of course a central concept of the path of yoga. We use the word Maya, illusion. And of course the idea is that everybody is covered by Maya, covered by illusion. And they even use this intoxicated concept, like people just drunk, intoxicated by Maya, and they don't see the truth. Look at this Bhagavad Gita verse 7, chapter 7, verse 27. Krishna says to Arjuna, O descendant of Bharata, O conqueror of the enemy, all living entities are born in illusion, confused by the dualities arisen from desire and aversion. So here is Krishna telling Arjuna, same thing. Everybody is born in illusion. Look, the gospel of truth. They were generated in forgetfulness. Krishna says they were born in illusion. Same thing, same exact concept. And so everybody is in illusion, everybody is confused, drunk, as it were. Everybody is, so what you need knowledge, you need to get out of that state, or else you will continue drunk and staggering around life after life. So it's a very important concept they both had. Okay, body versus soul. Now this is a huge topic. Body versus soul is a very important topic, and it is not very clear in the Christian tradition. It's not such a clear concept, but here it's much clearer. Look at this. The Gospel of Philip, saying number 63. This is incredible. This one is like, I can't believe how incredibly close these two are. So the Gospel of Philip, verse 63 says, the body is a garment, and the soul is what dwells within it. Just as many garments are put on, so too many bodies are put on by the soul. I mean, if you know Bhagavad Gita, you know where I'm going to go to. I'm just going to read it to you. Okay, this is incredible. So this is Bhagavad Gita 2:22. It's one of the first things Krishna tells Arjuna. As a person puts on new garments, discarding old ones, the soul accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. It's like, what? Come on. Did they have access to the Gita? I don't think they did have access to the Gita, but it's amazing because it's like the same philosophy, right? They're using the same example of soul. Body is like covering, like clothes you put on your body. Just as you put on clothes, take off clothes, put on clothes, just like that, the soul is putting on bodies, taking off bodies, putting on bodies, then you die, take off the body, then you're born again, you put on a new body, and so on. And what's fascinating, look at the Gospel of Philip. So too many bodies are put on by the soul. Many bodies. Reincarnation. So here's an early Christian text where not only do you have this clear distinction of body and soul, but you have the concept of reincarnation. It's amazing. It's amazingly, it's like it's the same thing, and using the example of clothes. Absolutely amazing. I love this one. So, very important. Now, another concept, the concept of the three bodies of the self. So this is from the Tripartite Tractate, chapter 4. It says, and this is also in the Nag Hammadi text, humankind came to be in three essential kinds: the pneumatic, the psychic, and the material, in accordance with the tripartite disposition of the Logos. Chapter 70, it says, for the pneumatic man is according to the likeness of the imperishable spirit, and he seeks the things that are above because he is kin to them. So they go on. I mean, I couldn't read it for you because it's like the whole text is explaining the nature of these three bodies, but basically the concept is quite clear, and it's the same thing we have in the yoga concept, the concept of the three bodies. So you have the soul, you have the subtle body covering the soul, and then you have the material, we call it the gross material body, covering the subtle body. So the same concept, and then saying that the soul wants things related to transcendence, which is this taste, this attraction we all have for spirituality, for the divine, for God, when we get it, because that's our true nature, like they say here, because it's in accordance, it seeks things that are above, because he is kin to them. As soul, you're kin to God. You're connected, you're eternally connected, kin to God, to all the divine things. That's why naturally as souls, we want spirituality, we want devotion. When we get over our state of illusion and drunkenness, we want to reach that, because that's our nature. So they would call that the pneumatic. What they call the pneumatic is what we will call just like the Atma in Sanskrit. But then beyond the Atma, two more. And they call it the psychic, which would be called the subtle body. Mind, intelligence, and false ego, we say. So that's the subtle body that covers the soul. And then what's beyond that? The material. You're a material body, what we call the gross material body, made of the 5 gross elements. So we have the 3 states, the 3 bodies, exactly the same concept in this early Christian text as we have in yoga. And now, the last thing is also a huge topic, which is the question of the importance of knowledge. Since we were in illusion, since there is Maya, then the path of liberation is through knowledge. And of course, these texts were all like, they kind of understand, it's a Gnostic Christianity. And Gnostic is G-N, Gnostic, exactly like Jnana, we write, J-N, that same sound, Gnos, Gna. So Jnana, Gnostic, same thing. So Gnostic, Jnana, same word, the word from Sanskrit stayed in as Gnostic. When we say ignorant, it's ajnana. It's the opposite of knowledge, is ignorant. So same idea. So the path of jnana. And so look at this. This is from the Second Treatise of the Great Seth, also found in this Nag Hammadi discovery. For it is through knowledge that the soul finds rest, having escaped from the world. For knowledge is the redemption of the soul. Now look at Krishna. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, the whole chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita is Jnana Yoga. So these Gnostic Christians would love this. They would love Jnana Yoga. They would immediately oh, this is great stuff. Same concept. Look at Krishna says in verse 36 of chapter 4. He says, even if you're considered the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries. So again, knowledge as the path to liberation. You need knowledge to go beyond this mess. Krishna calls it ocean of miseries. If you're wondering why the world is so horrible, so much suffering, look no further than God telling you, yes, this is an ocean of miseries, you fool. Wake up, you're drunk, you're an illusion. You need jnana, you need knowledge to get out. You took yourself there. You're in this ocean of miseries. An ocean, this image of the ocean. You go to the middle of the ocean, and it's like everywhere you go, it just doesn't end. And you go down, it doesn't end. It's just like endless ocean. It's very, very important. I like this imagery. They used to love this imagery of the ocean. It's so vast. And this is an ocean of miseries. I mean, all you have to do is, check out your favorite news channel and you'll see it's just an ocean of misery. Your own life, it's just like so much trouble, so much misery all the time because it's an ocean of misery. But what do we need to cross over this ocean of misery? Knowledge. And these early Christians had the same concept. We need knowledge. I didn't get into it. I'm not going to get into it here, but it's fascinating. You should study if you want to understand more of these early Christian ideas. They're very interesting. So their view of Jesus was quite different. That's why they didn't make it to the Bible, because they saw Jesus as the person who was bringing them the knowledge that would help them go beyond this ocean of misery. They weren't focused on the death of Jesus. That was a different thing. That was a different philosophy, and that's why they didn't make it to the Bible, because the Bible had a specific message. No, it's about the death of Jesus. But these they had a huge variety of different versions of Christianity, and some of them were like, no, the death. And they would make fun of the death. No, like these silly people who believe in the death. It's Jesus' life that's important, not the death. And it's his teaching, it's his knowledge. So it's a completely different form of Christianity they were following. And that's why, these books were eventually banned and didn't make it to the Bible. But look at this search for knowledge. So important. Same thing, same concept. We're lost, we're in illusion, we're drunk. You need knowledge, and then with this knowledge, you can then finally live your true life as a soul. Anyway, fascinating stuff. I hope you liked it. And if you have any questions, you can leave your comments below. And have your rest of your day with lots of peace and lots of love.